slight, like 0.001% owner.
Yeah, but still.
It still counts. I was talking more about Key and saying he wants to tighten up his chin. I don't know.
No, I want to put the cleft in there. Yeah.
Cleft in the chin. Yeah.
Think I should do that?
No, it's not a good idea.
Why?
Just leave your face alone.
Very pronounced. Yeah, be a little bit too much.
Everyone with the plastic surgery and the things. What are you doing?
What do you mean?
Oh,
I want to enhance.
Like you when the lips still are like this. The duck.
I want to enhance my look. What? Why are you laughing?
He's so Hollywood.
Enhance my look. What's wrong with that?
Well, that's true. Not everyone suffers from the same disease I do, where I get handsomer and handsomer as I get older.
This just in.
I'm getting older. Yes. I got to make sure that these young guys aren't coming for me on my television job, you know?
Young Thunder.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, presented by Progressive Insurance. All guests on the Goodyear Hotline. So the Nets beat the Bulls, right? That's the 2-seed Nets beating the top-seeded Bulls, 138-112. Nets got 61 from the big three last night. They're 13-3 over the last two seasons when KD, Kyrie, and Harden are in the lineup. And,
even though it's the top seed, to me, I was looking at it yesterday. Even before that, when we were talking last week or whatever, we were discussing the Bulls and the Nets and whatnot. It's like a fake one to me anyway, because the real one is the Nets.
It's not a fake one.
It's the real one is the Nets, man.
I understand that the Nets, when James Harden and KD are playing off the charts, but it's not like that's been consistent throughout the course of the year, right? There's been a lot of question marks around that team. The Bulls are deserving of a number one spot. Now, does it mean that they're going to win the whole thing and come out East? I'm not saying it's going to translate to that.
So that's why I call it a fake number one. Because if all three of those dudes, and we didn't have the Kyrie only could play on the road issue, would they be in the number one spot?
No, Chicago, they would not be.
That's why it's a fake
number one. Well, I would say it's fake number one for this. I agree with Keith for this. Just for this reason. Just like it was
sensitive.
Just like the Bucks championship.
I'm sorry.
Just because the Bucks championship last year too. It's so obvious that when the Nets have their three guys, they're playing like the rest of the league is playing games.
Different.
That it's like the Bucks by an inch got by the Nets just with one dude. Come on.
Oh, I agree with it.
Yeah.
I agree with it. I'm just not taking away from the Bulls that won 31 games last year.
And
now, you know what I mean? DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine.
Yeah.
And, you know, Lonzo Ball, the way this team is playing is pretty special. That's all.
Know what happened last night? Right, I was like early in the third, I think it was. It was still maybe a bucket or two the game, right? James Harden comes in, boom, hits a three. I forgot who he found in the paint.
Patty Mills.
Yeah, it was Patty Mills in the paint. And then boom,
Yep.
and then all of a sudden it's like, oh wait, they're almost up double digits. Just like you blink your eye and it's like that. What's the league gonna do with these guys?
Well, the question is, you know, we'll get into this. There's an example out there where Kyrie can play every home game for the Brooklyn Nets if they want him to.
Indeed, we will get.
Well, see, you say what did you say? What is it? What can the league do with these guys? Mm-hmm. Now, there's teams on the West that's probably not going to back down, right? You got most people thinking that Golden State's coming out of the West. Golden State
or Phoenix.
Jeez, get this man some water. What?
DeAndre Ayton has taken steps forward, even from his improvement from last year. And there is always the feeling with the Warriors, like, what are you going to do about a big?
Well, first of all, Key, take a sip of water. Secondly, I ain't going to let y'all just run over the East like that. It ain't like Milwaukee is still the defending champions, right? It's still going to be hard to go through them. Miami's playing good basketball. I mean, James Harden he had 16 assists last night. That was a different James Harden. We haven't seen that style of James Harden.
What Key's saying about the West is, I said, what are they going to do with them? Because just KD was almost too much for the Bucks. So if you add the big three, so in other words, we already have seen what that looks like in the East if those three are playing together. Mm-hmm. So we're going, is there anyone out West? And the Warriors look like the team out West.
They look like the team that could compete, and then you could kind of slide the Suns in there to a degree, I guess.
But Jay, not to rush past your Bulls. Since the preseason, you and I have both been high on the Bulls. They put a good thing together. Again, they're doing this without Patrick Williams. This was supposed to be a development year where we said, could he be the best player on the team? Gone for the season, right? So they're doing this.
Look, and they played last night without Alex Caruso. I'm not saying Alex Caruso is going to be the huge differentiator, but he is massive when he's on the court defensively because he can guard a James or a Kyrie. So him on the court is one thing that they need, a major piece.
It's a piece.
I would also say they need an upgrade. Look, Kobe White, I love him. Played at North Carolina. Very talented kid. It kind of feels like with all the guards that they have on that team, he could be a piece that they can trade. I wouldn't overlook the likes of a Jeremy Grant. If you got Jeremy Grant on this team with DeMar DeRozan, with Zach LaVine, with Vucevic, with Lonzo Ball,
to
with
replace
Alex Caruso,
the Patrick Williams absence,
you could potentially. I don't know if I want to let go of Patrick Williams.
No. I'm just saying because he's
absence,
not there
yes.
because of injury.
Yes, I think that could be a piece that defensively could help the Nets and also could help them offensively from a floor spacing perspective with Zach and with DeMar.
But see, the defensive side for the Bulls, though, upgrading that, and I'm just saying, I'm looking past everybody else.
I'm with you.
Whatever, right?
You allowed to do that.
You can crucify me for looking past everybody else in the East. You still got 3 prolific scorers with the Nets that at any moment, one of them can go ham on you and go nuts. So if you only got 1 or 2 guys on the defensive end, as you know, Jay, somebody's going to be left unaccounted for.
I agree, but that's what I'm saying. If you get it, Jeremy Grant can guard the likes of Kevin Durant. Now, I'm not saying he's going to guard him and lock him down, but I would like that matchup. I would like it. I still favor KD, but I would like that matchup. I would have Lonzo Ball on a James Harden. I would have Alex Caruso on a Kyrie Irving. Like, I'm not saying they're going to win those matchups, but still, defensively, I like that.
Let me ask you this, though, Jay, as a basketball player, though.
Yes, I am a basketball player. Thank you.
And having been in matchups, though, when you neutralize one of the 3 that you're talking about, and you said they're not going to slow him down, KD's still going to drop 25 on your head.
Mm-hmm.
Kyrie's still probably going to drop 20 on your head. And then James Harden, he might just go nuts and go 30 on you.
Can you hear me?
And that's slowing him down?
Yeah. That's I mean, Key, that's how, I mean, look, you played against some of the top quarterbacks ever to play the game. Like, okay, so if you're not going to stop everybody from throwing, for 250 yards, right? But if you can minimize that to a degree, if you hold KD to 20 or 24, right? That's different than him going off for 35. And you mitigate other people, like you got to take it in that aspect, right? Like, yeah, one guy may go off, but if you're hindering the other 2 to an extent, that gives you the best chance to win.
No, it will give you the best chance to win. But when I do the numbers in my head, mathematically, and I'm giving KD 25 and I'm giving Kyrie 20, and then I'm like, James is going to get his, because he see that, James might wind up getting his 30. How you going to win?
Well, if you can hear me in this mic, can you?
Yeah, why do you have 2 mics? You have 2 mics. Just put both mics up.
Say it's just,
all I need is 2 mics.
I spit it so hot, man. It melted the one mic, and now we're on. Look, I'll say this. You mentioned Kobe White. The thing I like about the way the Bulls are constructed is they got guys who can play next to anybody, right? They like Lonzo Ball's a guy like that. I think Kobe White's a guy like that. You can play next to him, right? Mm-hmm. At either guard spot in the backcourt. The difference between these 2 teams is the Nets have 3 superstars.
That's the difference between every team and the Nets.
But this is why you look
Except
out
Golden
west.
State.
This is why you look out west. The Nets have 3 guys who can get their own shot and score from all 3 levels at historically almost unprecedented levels. Even the Warriors. The reason you look at the Warriors and you think maybe, because Clay can't do that. Clay can shoot the lights out, but if he's putting it on the floor, he's not Kyrie Irving, right? Okay. Yeah. So the reason we like the Warriors maybe is because they have continuity that the Nets don't have.
Yeah, I just don't like when you guys call my Chicago Bulls a fake number 1 team when they've earned it.
I hear you.
They've earned it.
All right, they're the number 1 seed.
I mean, for right now, they've earned it. I'm not saying it's going to be that way in the long run.
I like this Bulls. I like this Bulls team a whole lot. Key says the defending Super Bowl champs are on upset alert this weekend, and it might not be the biggest upset of the Super Wild.